Hello guys, if you like my awesome gaming videos, my programming and web development courses, my editing courses and editing videos, and my tech talks and tech guidance, then you can consider subscribing to my channel and click on this bell icon to stay. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So in this particular video, I'm going to show you how can you make a Django backend with the Django REST API. And the next part, I'm going to work with our front end with React and start management with Redux, which is the main point of this video tutorial series. Because in the previous tutorial, as you can see here, I just make Django with React full stack development, where I'm going to show you the add project and work with detail, get all the detail information, update the product information and delete it and do all the crude stuffs, but just with Django and React.js with hooks. But I didn't add any Redux. But the Redux is very important if you want to make a complex application, larger application. It's very hard to manage the complex application where we have a lots of component. But in this simple project, I will show you how to make contact with React with Redux in the simple application and do all the CRUD and search features and routing, all of those things. Okay, here I need to create a new folder called Django React Redux for YouTube. Okay, so if I open this, and here I need to create Django dash admin start project server. So this line is to create a new Django project to start Django admin start project server. I'm going to name the project as server, as you can see. And I should open this with VS Code, and this code editor is really powerful and it has an integrated terminal to it, which I really like. Now, as you know, in every Django project we need to create an apps. So if you watched this previous tutorial, the first tutorial where I created Django REST API, this is the 33-minute video. You don't need to watch this tutorial because these videos are same. You can skip this part if you really are really good in Django REST API. Okay. So I'm just creating it for absolute beginners so that they already know how to do the stuff from the ground up. Okay, with Python start app, and our app should be named as API. As you can see, we have an API created. We need to set up it inside the settings. So let me go there, and here we need to add API. Now we need to go to the Django REST framework, Django REST API documentation. So if we go there, and here if we go to the Django REST framework.org, here you'll see the installation part. In the installation part, you need to just copy pip install Django REST framework. So let me follow these stuffs. Okay, pip install, it already installed in my PC. We don't need to install it again. Here, if I zoom in, if you want to add or filtering support in Django REST framework, you can do that. But this is for another tutorial, not this part. Okay. With this is just enough. Installing the Django REST framework is enough. Then we need to go to the installed app and just copy this thing and just add this inside installed apps. And here I'm gonna add the REST framework. Then what we need to do is set up our database, and for that we need to change our database thing. Okay, we need to add MySQL database. So this is the part that we need. Just copy whole thing and just paste it here. By the way, you will have all the code that I'm writing here inside my GitHub profile. I will add the link in the description below. You will see every single thing. Like engine in the backend, I need to change it to MySQL. If you want to use MySQL, here I'm going to use it. And we have to have a database name, user, password, and all of those things. Here I need to change the database name, and it should be API DB for YouTube. Okay. And here in the XAMPP, make sure you have a XAMPP installed. Just go to admin. Here you need to create this database name API DB for YT and just create it. So our database setup is completely done. Now what I need to do, we need to create our model and do our image upload configuration, media, and serialization. These are the three parts, very, very important. So now we need to create our model. Here in the models in the API, make sure this is inside the API because this is our main application. So inside the models, here we need to make a class, and it should be project, and it will inherit from models.model. You can add anything like thumbnail. Thumbnail is actually models dot image field. actually this is image field, and you need to write upload_to, and here I'm gonna redirect upload to media file, and in the media file, and you will go to thumbnail/images, and for that I need to create a directory here called media. This is very important to add a new media directory, because when you want to upload any image into this API from our front end, we have to upload all of our images would be stored inside this media folder, and in the media folder it will create a folder called thumbnail and images, and here you will store everything. And then we have a title, and it should be coming from models.character field, and max length is equals to 100 suppose, and we have a category, and category should be coming from the models dot character field, and max length of 50, and then we need to have a description would be coming from the models dot text field. Okay, and then we have to have a demo link, and it should be from models dot character field. Okay, and give it a max length of 200, which is fine, but make sure that the description field shouldn't be character field, because description can be really large, so the models.text field is appropriate for it. If you have a price, it should be models.decimal field. Okay, so decimal field takes two things. One is the decimal places. Okay, so decimal places can be 2 decimal places, or max digit can be 1000, max digit can be 4 max digit. Okay, or 5. If you need more, you can add more, but this project management doesn't need any price. You can add a particular price to any project if you want to sell it. Okay, but I don't add this in this project here. You just get the idea. We need an image field which will be uploaded to thumbnail/images folder, and it is not mandatory. And title is actually mandatory, so here null is equals to false, and blank is equals to false. Okay, and then the category also, it is very important, so you cannot make this field empty. You have to add this. That's why null is equals to false, blank is equals to false. And same for demo, but demo is okay. Null is equals to true. You can add it or you can't add it, it's up to you. Okay, so make this optional. Okay, so this is actually just the project link of the GitHub or YouTube, whatever you want. Then we need to call dev str, and just delete this thing, and return self.title. Upload any information into the database in admin panel. In the admin panel, you will see the information as the title, okay, based on it. But if you want to add category, you will see the information as category. Very simple. You will understand it better when I'm going to create the admin panel. Okay, so before migrating, I want to configure this static folder option. Okay, so here I need to go to the settings, and in the settings we need to configure this. In the static URL, we need to go to media_URL, and media URL is actually our /media, and our media root is actually os dot. We need to import os here. So here import os, because we need to connect this application with our media. Okay, so that's why os.path.join. Here we will get a base directory, and base directory is actually this media folder. Okay, and for that, to connect it with our main root application, we need to go to the urls.py, and let me delete every single thing. And here let me import include. Here we need to configure it from django.conf import setting. We need to import this setting information. These are the root URL, media URL, and media root. We need to import this information and connect it to our application URL. So for that, we need to import from Django configuration, import settings. and from Django dot conf dot url dot static import static. So whatever we upload into the database would be stored in the media, and these are called static content. And we need to add this thing from the URL pattern. You need to add static, and the static you need to give some information like settings dot media underscore URL, and this is from the setting. In the setting we have the media URL, you need to pass that, and one more parameter you need to pass, document root is equals to settings dot media root. So we have added all the configuration for the static content in our URL. So in the static we need to pass two information, which is media URL, and in the document root we need to pass settings.media root. So this root and URL is connected with our main URL of our project, okay, for the static content. So our configuration done. So our model creation is done, our configuration is done, and in the admin we need to just admin.site.register, and we'll register our model here from .models import project model, and you need to just assign it so that we can work with our admin panel. Okay, so our model creation is done, our admin panel is configuration is done. Now we need to work with our serialization. So before that we need to migrate it. Okay, so python manage.py make migrations. Now we need to migrate it. Python manage.py migrate, and here you're going to see our API project. An API project have ID, title, thumbnail, category, description, and demo. Okay, so those are the fields that we have. So our migration is done properly. Now we just need to add some information from our admin panel. Let me check it if this works or not. So if I go to python manage.py, we need to create a super user. So we need to write create super user. This is not mandatory for API development, but this is good if you have an admin panel integrated with it. But now I need to give you some name and some email and password, run server. And if you just write python manager.py run server, it will run your server. And if we go to /admin page, as you can see, all the information. Here you have a thumbnail, title, category, description, all of those things. Suppose here I want to add some information. Suppose this is Laravel one-to-many relationship design. Suppose this title is Laravel database design. Category is backend development. Okay. And description is backend development with Laravel. And demo link, you can give any demo link here. Okay, this one, suppose, and quit this and save another. Suppose I need to add one more information here and save this two information. As you can see, we see this information in the dashboard of Django admin panel using the title like Laravel database design. We see all the information. You see all of those things. So we can do the complete code using the admin panel as well. As you can see, all the information is added here properly without any issues. So to create an API, you need to create a new file called serializers.py. serializers.py. So here from REST framework that we have installed, we need to import serializers. So this is very important. Now here we need to import from .models, import the project model that we need to serialize. Okay, so this is very important. So this is the same model that we have here. So this is the thing we need to serialize. So here I'm going to use class product. This is actually project serializer, and it should be serializers.model serializer. You will see lots of serializer. Like if I use hyperlink serializers.hyperlink, as you can see, hyperlink related field, hyperlink model serializer. If you have any URL, based application. If you want to add a URL serialization, you can do that. But here I just need to serialize our models. Okay, so these are the model fields that we want to serialize: ID, title, category, description, all of those things. And this name should be same as our project name. This is actually our model name, which is project, and the serializer name should be similar to this, like project serializer. If it is product, it is product serializer. And here I need to use class meta, and here I need to use model. Model is equals to which model we want to serialize, project. And here I need to give the fields, and the fields should be underscore underscore all underscore underscore. So these are all the fields that we want to serialize. You can do customization, like you can write it like this way, like you need only title and need only category and ID. You can do that, it is up to you, but I'm gonna use all the fields I want to serialize. And now we need to go to our views.py, and here we need to import all of the things from .models, import project, and from .serializers we need to import these project serializers. So we need two information now. We need project serializer and our models in the views, because views work with our models and all the other thing to work with our API backends. Okay, so we need the serializer that we have just created and models. And now this is our main stuff. We need one more information from REST framework. Okay, from REST framework we import view sets. So this is not anything that I just recommend you to do. Just remember thing and do. Just go to Django REST framework and here install every packages, everything. And after that you need to go to API guide, and here you can see view sets, routers, serializers, all the thing that you can do here. Okay, if you go to serializers, you'll see every single thing. Suppose we have a class of comment, we have email, content, all of the thing, and you can serialize those things. Okay, as you can see, you can serialize every single thing that you want. So this is not something that I just recommend. Just learn it from this documentation and implement in your own project. Okay, so this is the best place to learn about Django REST framework. And if you go to view sets that I need to work on, so these are all the view sets, and view sets give you an extra level like class. Like here I'm going to use the project view set. Project view set and implement and with inherit from the view set. And here I'm going to use our project and get all the information via user.object.all. But here I'm going to use project.object.all, and in the serializer I'm going to use our own serializer and give some information and return response to our class. And in the class we just need to give it a name, project view, and we need to inherit from the view sets dot actually the model view set. This is the model view set that we want. Okay, and here I need to use query set. Query set is actually coming from our project. This is the project model dot objects dot all. Just get all the project objects from the database that we have here. So these are all the projects object. As you can see, all the information in the database. We need to serialize them. And our serializer class is actually which class that we just imported from serializers file, as you can see. So this is the class that we need. Okay, that serializes everything. So in the serializer class, we need to pass the project serializer. Okay, so this is the very important thing. Now the view file is done properly. Now we need to go to the finalizer application. You need to go to the root project level URLs. You can make a new simple file called urls.py, but I'm going to do it simply. Just going to the root urls.py in the server level. Here I need to import two things. Just comment it out. We have to import our view class of the project that we just created. We need to import this thing. Okay, project view. So here we need to import from api.views. We are going to this API directory, which is our main app, and going to its view and getting this project view. Okay, so import project view. So project view is done. Now I need to import one more thing, which is for routing. So this is the part where Django is really excels in. You don't need to do any routing like get, post, put. We don't need to do this. We need to get it from the REST framework. We need to get routers. Now this will do all the magics. Now suppose route is equals to routers dot router. We have base router and default router. From this router we imported. We need to call the default router. Okay, the default router. Now we need to go to the route and instance, and we need to call the register method. In the register method, you need to just register this project view, and everything is done. You don't need to do any other configuration. And here just give it a name, project view. And here you need to create one more path. Suppose here one more path, and this is not actually admin. You can give it any name. This is the project API. You can give a name called project/API. Okay, but I'm just keeping it simple, just a simple API. And here I need to include, and that's why I imported this include, and to give it a route.urls. Okay, so here what I have done, I have imported the project view, which is very important, where I have configured every single thing like query set to project.update.all, and we just serialize it there. So this is very important file, and just import it here. And for the routing we used REST framework routers, and we just call this router default router, and in the route we registered this thing. Okay, and in the API we just call this. If I go to the API/API, it will just give us all of our REST API default configuration, and we can see all of our API information. So if I go to this application, and because there is no root directory, if I go to /API, as you can see, boom, we see every single thing. We have the Django REST framework dashboard, so you don't even need Postman to check it. It is already done. As you can see, if I just zoom in, I have all the project list here, title, thumbnail, description. All. If I just click on this, you can go to this API thing. Okay, even you see the images here. So everything is working perfectly without any issues. We have two information that we added from the admin panel, and you can also check it that if it is working or not. And the demo, I just passed something and post this. As you can see, is added ID number 3. So get particular information like ID number 1. You will just zoom in a little bit. As you can see, we get the API/ID number 1. We get ID number 1 information. You can also delete this thing, and you can also just update the information and use put request to it. So you can do all these stuffs. And if I get ID number 2, so this is ID number 2 information. This is not the end. If we want to integrate this in our React application, if we want to consume this information, like the project demo I already showed you in the previous video, you have to add a middleware called course headers. Django course headers. Just go to Django course headers, and this is the official documentation for Django course headers, and just copy this thing. It says in Django app adds cross-origin resource sharing course headers to responses. This allows browser requests to your Django application for your origins. So if you don't add this thing, you are in big trouble. Okay, so it says how you can do this. You just copy this thing, pip install Django course headers, just get out of the shell, install. I already have it. In case of you have to install this. And in the installed apps, since you install some packages, you need to add it inside the installed apps. So just copy course headers, go to our root usettings.py, and here in the installed app we have the API, which is our main application, our REST framework library, and now we need to have course headers. Now this is not the end. Also in the middleware section you need to add those two things, like copy course headers middleware, course middleware. In the middleware you have to add this thing. Okay, just go to single quotation, use single quotation, and another thing, Django middleware, common middleware, and just copy this thing. So this is how you're going to use any official documentation for any Django application. This is the page. Oh, you need to add course allowed origins. Okay, so course allowed origins is very important. You need to add this thing, and inside here allowed host, just give star. it should be after the middleware and paste it. Course allowed origins. This is the same thing that the documentation says here. Course allowed origins. This is course allowed origins. Okay, in the origins you just write HTTP for the local server, because HTTPS is not here because this is a local host 3000. So this is the port where our React application would be running. Okay, so that's why we give the permission that we can use this Django application data in this front-end application. I'm making this tutorial series for you guys. I hope you will support it and comment it. So till that, take care, bye bye. I'll see you in the next video in the next part.